Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we are going to see torque and mass moment of inertia. Here we are going to see 5 numericals on torque and mass moment of inertia. This topic is very much important for competitive exams. For GATE exam, it is hot topic, very much important topic. And again, for rest of competitive exam, it is very much important topic. That is mass moment of inertia and torque. Right. Now, let us understand first. What is mass moment of inertia. Now, see, mass moment of inertia. Mass moment of inertia. Moment of inertia. This topic you have already learned in 12th standard and also in engineering. If there are civil student ने ये टॉपिक कभी पढ़ा नहीं है, सिर्फ 12th में पढ़ा है. Civil students only learn this topic in 12th, not in engineering. But this topic is there for competitive exams, right? Mass moment of inertia is represented by I. Mechanical as well as civil student have learned area moment of inertia in strength of material. But here we have to learn mass moment of inertia I. See, mass moment of inertia I is nothing but mk square. Mk square. Where m is mass. M is mass. And the unit of mass is kg. And k is radius of gyration. K is called radius of gyration. Radius of gyration, which is nothing but in meter. A radius in meter. Right. Therefore, the unit of I will be mk square. That is mass in kg, k in meter square. Means unit of I is meter, kg meter square. The unit of I will be kg meter square. And this is called mass moment of inertia. This is called mass moment of inertia. Now let us understand first radius of gyration. Right. First of all, we have to understand radius of gyration. Let us say k. And k is called radius of gyration. Radius of gyration. And let us understand this concept. Now let us say you have disk. Disk is nothing but solid circle. Disk is nothing but solid circle. Right. Now let us say this is a solid circle. Let us say this is a solid circle. Right. Having some radius r. Let us say this is a solid circular disk. Solid circular disk of thickness t, having some thickness and radius r. Its radius is r and its mass is m, and thickness is t, right? And its mass is m. Then for this disk, I is nothing but mass moment of inertia is nothing but mk square, which is nothing but mr square by 2, which is nothing but mr square by 2, right? Therefore, equate this. Therefore, radius of gyration will become k square is equal to r square by 2. Therefore, k radius of gyration is r by root 2. Therefore, for solid circular disk, k is r by root 2. And this I is about g, centroid. This g is center of gravity, center point, or we can say center of gravity. This I is about g, ig. We can say this ig, right? About center of gravity or centroid. G is, we can say, centroid, where total mass acts. Total weight of body acts through the centroid, right? and this is I about G point, right? G is centroid. Now this is for solid circular disk. Therefore, for solid circular disk, radius of gyration is R by root 2, or Ig about centroid or center of gravity is mr square by 2. Mr square by 2. Very important, my dear students. This is very important concept. Remember these formulas. All the concepts already completed in theory lectures. This is the lecture for solving numericals only. In this lecture, we are going to see 5 previous year gate numericals, right? So here quickly in 5 minutes, I am explaining concepts of I, that is mass moment of inertia, and torque, right? Now let us say second is ring, or also called rimmed flywheel. Also called a rimmed flywheel. Now, for ring or rimmed flywheel, let us say this is a ring. Mass is concentrated at extreme radius, right? There is only mass is concentrated at extreme radius here. This is a mass, and let us say this is a G point, centroid of this ring, and radius of this ring is R. Radius of this ring is R, right? And mass of ring is M. Mass of ring is M. For this ring, I is nothing but mk square. K is radius of gyration, which is nothing but mr square. Which is nothing but mr square. Therefore, here we can say k square is equal to r square. Therefore, radius of gyration for a ring or a rimmed flywheel is nothing but radius of ring. That is, radius of gyration is radius of ring. Very important, right? For disk, we have seen disk. Disk is also called solid flywheel. Disk is also called solid flywheel, right? For disk, we have seen it is complete disk, mass m and radius r. It is having radius r. For this, we have seen I is equal to mk square, which is nothing but mr square by 2. For disk, it is mr square by 2, but for ring or rimmed flywheel, it is mr square, right? And it is I about G, my dear students. It is Ig. Mk square, which is nothing but mr square for ring, is Ig. That is about centroid, about center of gravity, जहां पे total mass act होगा, right? Again, third is rod. Let us say you have one rod like this of length L and mass M. Let us say mass of rod is M and length of rod is L. Length of rod is L, capital L. Now, where the total mass will act? The total mass will act at centroid or center of gravity, which is nothing but at L by 2 distance. Which is nothing but at L by 2 distance from any one end. For rod, total mass acts at L by 2 distance, right? It is acting at L by 2 distance from both end. And about this G point, I about this G is ml square by 12. Ml square by 12 for rod, which is nothing but mk square. Which is nothing but mk square. Therefore, K, radius of gyration, K is nothing but, we can say K square is L square by 12. Therefore, K is equal to L by root 12. K is equal to L by root 12 for rod. We can say for rod, right? Now after these concepts, let us understand I about any other point. Here we have learned I about centroid, that is center of gravity, I about G. Let us find this I about any other point. Let us say there is this I is nothing but I about any other point P is nothing but I about G plus mr square. I about any other point P is nothing but I about centroid plus mr square. Let us understand this concept. Let us say first I will take rod. I will take rod example. For rod, I will tell you what is R. this small r is nothing but distance between, note down this distance between, for 5 minutes note down this, क्योंकि इसके बाद हमें इमीडिएट न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व करने हैं. Distance between point P and centroid. R is distance between point any other point P and centroid, that is center of gravity G, right? Therefore, let us say G for this rod of length L, G is at exactly center, that is from any one end G is at L by 2. From any one end G is at L by 2, right? And for this rod we know Ig is nothing but m L square by 12. About G point, I is nothing but ml square by 12. And let us say I want to find about P point. Here, let us say rod is hinged at any other end, which is nothing but point P. Rod is hinged at any other end, any one end, which is nothing but point P. Now, R is nothing but distance between point P and G. Small r is nothing but distance between point P and G. Therefore, here we can say R is L by 2. Now, I about point P. I about point P is nothing but I about G plus mr square. Therefore, I about point P is equal to, that is extreme end of rod, right? Is nothing but ml square by 12 plus m. R is L by 2 whole square. Therefore, I about P, solve this. ml square by 12 plus ml square by 2 square is 4. Now, if I multiply this 4 with 3, then I have to multiply ml square with 3. न्यूमरेटर में 3 से मल्टीप्लाई किया तो डिनोमिनेटर में भी 3 से मल्टीप्लाई करना होगा. It's obvious, right? Therefore, IP will be equal to ml square by 12 plus 3 ml square by 12. 4 into 3 is 12. Now common base or common denominator. Therefore, it is nothing but ml square plus 3 ml square. Here ml square plus 3 ml square is 4 ml square divided by 12, which will become 4 ml square divided by 12, which is nothing but ml square by 3. 4 by 12 is 1 by 3. Therefore, I about point P is ml square divided by 3. Now remember, my dear students, remember this. I about extreme end for rod, I about any extreme end is ml square by 3. I about G for rod is ml square by 12. But I about end for the rod is ml square by 3. Remember, my dear students, right? Adil, you are from Pakistan. Okay, welcome. And Jai Hind. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं फिर. Now let us consider, if I consider a solid disk, if I consider one solid disk, let us say this is a solid disk. About this G point, I about G is nothing but mr square by 2. For solid disk, I about G is mr square by 2, right? Now let us say for this disk on circumference, if I consider point P, let's say the disk is rotating about point P on circumference, right? Now about this point P, now distance between G and P is R, which is nothing but radius of disk. Distance between G and P is R, which is nothing but radius of disk, right? Therefore, I about P is nothing but Ig plus mr square, which is nothing but IP is equal to Ig is mr square by 2 plus mr square, capital R, small r is equal to capital R here. Small r, that is distance between G and point P is here radius of disk, right? Now let us solve this. Therefore, IP is equal to, we can write mr square by 2 plus this mr square we can multiply with 2 and divide with 2. Therefore, it becomes mr square plus 2mr square is nothing but 3mr square. 3mr square divided by 2. In denominator there is a 2. That is for solid disk on circumference. For solid disk at center I is mr square by 2. For solid disk at center, I is mr square by 2. But on a circumference, IP is 3 mr square by 2. Learn this because numerical में आने वाला है बच्चों ये. In numerical, this concept will come. So learn this concept. Right. Now, let us understand there is a ring. Let us say there is a ring. This is a ring of radius r and mass m, or a rimmed flywheel. It is also called a rimmed flywheel. Already लिखा था हमने. Right. For this ring, about G, that is center point, centroid, Ig is mr square. Right. Now let us find this G on circumference. If I consider one point P at radius r, that is distance between G and P is small r, which is nothing but capital R. Therefore, I about point P is nothing but Ig plus m small r square. Therefore, IP is Ig is mr square plus m small r is nothing but capital R, which becomes IP is equal to 2 mr square. Therefore, for ring, I on circumference is 2 mr square, and I about center, that is centroid, is mr square. Right. And my dear students, torque, which is nothing but T, is nothing but I alpha. Torque is nothing but I alpha. Right. Bhargav, yes, you can ask. What is your doubt? Bhargav, you can ask your doubt. Right. Tell me what is your doubt. I am waiting for your doubt. And my dear students, torque is nothing but I alpha. I is mass moment of inertia, and alpha is angular acceleration. Now, if anybody having doubt, please ask me, because we are going to solve numericals, previous year gate numericals. We are going to solve previous year gate numericals. If anybody having any doubt, please tell me. If no doubt, let us jump on numerical. My dear students, already you know that torque is nothing but force into distance. Force into perpendicular distance, which is nothing but I alpha. If any doubt, please text me or message, और कमेंट में लिखो आपका डाउट जो भी होगा, कमेंट में लिखो, टाइप करो, क्योंकि हमें 5 न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व करने हैं प्रीवियस ईयर गेट के, पूरे इसी कंसेप्ट पे है. Bhargav, you have started this lecture in between. लेक्चर के पहले के 5 मिनट देख लो, उसमें मैंने मास मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया कैलकुलेशन ही पढ़ाया है. अगर आपका डाउट है कि मास मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया होता क्या है और कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं, उसका एक्चुअल प्रूफ क्या है या डेरिवेशन क्या है, then for this you have to watch my theory lectures. Right. In theory lectures we have already taken this concept. Here only we are going to solve the numericals, previous year gate numericals. एक पॉइंट क्लियर होना चाहिए लेक्चर में, this live lecture is only to solve numericals, not to explain concepts. Still I am explaining the concepts because आपको समझ में, बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट ऐसे रहते हैं कि उन्होंने जो रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर होते हैं, you will find all the recorded lectures in Ekeeda application. Ekeeda application, right? And here my assumption is that you have already learned this concept from Ekeeda application, and you are here only to ask me doubts, right? And to solve previous year gate numericals. So mass moment of inertia calculation रॉड के लिए, डिस्क के लिए, रिंग के लिए मैंने ऑलरेडी बताया था क्या है फॉर्मूला. If you want to learn the concepts, watch my theory lectures from Ekeeda. Now, this torque is nothing but I alpha, which is nothing but force into radius. Right. Now, let us jump on numericals. Let us solve the numericals. First numerical we are going to solve is this question. Bhargav, in case of vehicles, you have to calculate power. It is totally IC engine concept. Right. From IC engine, you are calculating power. That is power or work, which is nothing but area under PV diagram or TS diagram. ये अगर आप मैकेनिकल के हो, if you are from mechanical background, then you will understand this. In IC engine, area enclosed by PV or TS diagram is called work, and work divided by time is power. And we have formulas to find power in IC engine subject. And from power, we have to find torque. That is, power is equal to 2 pi nt upon 60. Power is nothing but 2 pi nt upon 60. From there, you can calculate torque in case of vehicles. Right. Now, let us solve the numericals. The first numerical. This question was asked in, we can say, GATE 2012 for 1 mark. This question was asked in GATE 2012 for 1 mark. The question is, a circular solid disc of uniform thickness 20 mm. Circular solid disc. Here, what is given? Solid circle is given. Right. Circular solid disc. Let's say there is a circular solid disc. Right. Of radius r and having some thickness t. Having some thickness t for this disc. Right. Now, the radius of disc is given 200 mm. In question, radius of disc is given 200 mm. Therefore, radius is 200 mm, which is nothing but 0.2 meter. In case of meter, it is 0.2 meter. Right. After that, in question, and mass 20 kg. Mass is also given. In question, they have given mass also. Mass is 20 kg. Therefore, we can write mass is 20 kg. M is equal to 20 kg. Then is used as flywheel. इसी डिस्क को उन्होंने फ्लाईव्हील जैसा यूज किया है. Right. And the flywheel topic you are going to learn in theory of machine. Flywheel is a device to store energy. Flywheel is a device to store energy that you are going to learn in theory of machine. If you are mechanical student, for civil student, no need to learn this flywheel concept. It rotates at 600 rpm. The speed of flywheel is given. N is equal to 600 rpm, revolution per minute. Now, the question is, the kinetic energy of flywheel in joule is. The question is, what is kinetic energy of flywheel? Now, my dear students, this flywheel is rotating about G, that is center of gravity. Let us say this flywheel is rotating with a speed N, that is rpm, revolution per minute. Right. Or let us say with speed omega, angular velocity omega. Angular velocity omega. Right. Now we can say omega is nothing but 2 pi n upon 60. ये तो आपको मालूम है, basic concept है ये. Omega angular velocity is equal to 2 pi n upon 60. This is a very basic concept. Right. Which is nothing but in rad per second. Which is nothing but in rad per second, 2 pi n upon 60. Right. And my dear students, kinetic energy for rotation. My dear students, the kinetic energy for rotation is 1/2 I omega square. You must know this. ये बहुत basic concept है. Kinetic energy for rotational motion is 1/2 I omega square. And kinetic energy for linear motion, or we can say translation. Kinetic energy for translational motion is 1/2 mv square. These are very basic concepts from school mathematics or school science, school level science, we can say. right? Now here, in this case, I is mass moment of inertia, that is Ig, and omega is angular velocity. And in case of translational motion, instead of I, we are writing mass. Instead of angular velocity, we are writing linear velocity, that is V, velocity V, right? Now here, but here rotational motion, there is a, it rotates at 600 rpm. उन्होंने क्वेश्चन में लिखा है it rotates at 600 rpm. That means it is a rotational motion. Therefore, for finding kinetic energy, we have to use 1/2 I omega square formula. We have to use 1/2 I omega square formula. Now let us use this formula. Right here, I am erasing the things which are not required. Now here I is nothing but 1/2 I omega square, right? And for solid disk, we know that I is nothing but mr square by 2. For solid disk, I is nothing but I about G, that is center of gravity, is mr square by 2. And omega, we have learned omega is nothing but 2 pi n upon 60. Omega is nothing but 2 pi n upon 60, and n is given 600 rpm. N is given 600 rpm. Put the values. Therefore, I becomes equal to 1/2 I is nothing but mr square by 2 plus omega into omega is nothing but 2 pi n upon 60 whole square. Omega is 2 pi n upon 60 and whole square, omega square, right? Now put the values. Now my dear students, put the values over here. Whatever may be the values, put them. Therefore, what you will get? R is 0.2, mass is 20 kg, n is 600 rpm. So these values I am going to put here, right? Therefore, I is equal to 1/2 mass is 20 kg into R square 0.2 square divided by 2 into 2 pi n is 600 divided by 2 whole square. Therefore, you will get I. Sorry, kinetic energy. My dear students, it is a kinetic energy. I is mr square by 2. My dear students, it is a kinetic energy formula. Kinetic energy formula. Make a correction. Kinetic energy is equal to for rotation, for rotational motion. Now let us tell me answer. बताओ कोई तो मुझे आंसर, मेरे पास आंसर नहीं है. I don't know what is the answer. I am waiting from your side for answer. मेरे पास तो आंसर है नहीं. Tell me what will be the answer. Now I think answer will be 790 joule. Answer will be 790 joule. Right. Therefore, option B is correct choice. Option B is correct choice. Check this answer. My dear students, check this answer. Now let us jump on next question. If anybody having any doubt, let me know. Comment box is always available for you. If you have doubt in concepts, then you have to watch my theory lectures, which are recorded lectures. My dear students, in Ekeeda application, you will get recorded lectures, right? And अगर आपने Ekeeda का कोर्स सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है, then subscribe the Ekeeda course as soon as possible, because Ekeeda is the largest online learning platform, and in this platform we are providing this year onward GATE course also. And if you use WADNE 10, this promo code, then you will get 10% discount on the fees for any course. Bhargav, this class is for both mechanical as well as civil students, because engineering mechanics is there for both mechanical as well as civil students for GATE examination. This particular lecture is for both mechanical as well as civil, and this GATE coaching institute, Ekeeda coaching institute, is available for mechanical, civil, computer science, electrical, ENTC, for all the engineering branches, right? Now, and for GATE course, the fees is 7,500 rupees only for full course. In this fees, we are providing you recorded lectures plus live lectures like today, plus test series, right? And plus handwritten notes of faculty, right? And this total course is only for 7,500 rupees. And again, in this course, if you use WADNE10 promo code, then you will get 10% discount. Means from this 7,500, your 750 will be subtracted, and this much will be your final fees, right? Now let us jump on next question. The question is, consider a flywheel whose mass m. Bhargav, this is the best time to start GATE preparation for 2020, 2022 as well as 2021. See, for 2021 already students ने already उन्होंने लेट किया है, लेकिन it's always best way to start as early as possible. अब 2022 का पढ़ना है तो आज से ही इसी वक्त से स्टार्ट करो. अभी जो टाइम है ना, इसी टाइम से एक भी आपका मिनट वेस्ट नहीं होना चाहिए. स्टार्ट योर प्रिपरेशन बिकॉज कंपटीशन इज वेरी हाई, राइट? अब सारे प्रिपरेशन ही कर रहे हैं. 100 स्टूडेंट अगर प्रिपेयर करेंगे और 2 वैकेंसी रहेगी तो बाकी 98 वैकेंसी है ही नहीं. That's why you have to start your preparation as early as possible. अभी भी कोई लेट नहीं हुआ है 2022 के लिए. You can start from today also. Now let us solve this question. This is the previous year GATE. I think this question was asked in GATE. Let me check. Yes, GATE 2014. GATE 2014 for 2 marks. This question was asked for 2 marks. Right. Now the question is, consider a flywheel whose mass is m. Total mass of flywheel is capital M. They have given capital M is distributed almost equally. See here, almost equally. That means total M is divided into M by 2 and M by 2. अगर M का इक्वल पार्ट करना है तो M by 2 आएगा. M by 2 आएगा. Right. Now let us understand the question. Consider a flywheel whose mass M is distributed almost equally between heavy ring-like rim of radius r. Now ring-like rim, here ring-like rim means rim or a ring. We can say it is a ring. This is a ring of, now equally means आधा मास रिंग में चला गया. That is m by 2. Ring of mass m by 2 and radius r. यहाँ पे लिखा है ring like rim of radius r and concentric disc like feature of radius r by 2. Concentric disc like feature plus disc, ring plus disc, that is radius r by 2. This disc means solid disc of radius r by 2 and mass is m by 2. Means total mass is divided in a ring of mass m by 2 and radius r, and disc of mass m by 2 and radius r by 2. Right. Then Other parts of flywheel such as spokes etc have negligible mass. तो ये flywheel कैसे बनेगा? That flywheel will look like this. See, there is a ring. There is a ring. See, this is a ring. You can say this is a ring. For this ring, radius is r and mass is m by 2. And there is concentric disk. There is concentric disk of radius. This disk will be having radius r by 2 and mass also m by 2. Right, like this. And there are the spokes. In between there are the spokes. मतलब ये तार रहेगा ऐसे ऐसे spokes. इनका mass negligible बोल रहा है ये question. The mass of spokes is ignored, negligible. यहाँ पे लिखा है have negligible masses such as flywheel such as spokes have negligible masses लिखा है. Now then the best approximation for alpha, here you have to find best approximation alpha, that is alpha is equal to question mark. Now alpha को समझते हैं पहले क्या है आगे. Alpha, if the moment of inertia of the flywheel about its axis of rotation is expressed as alpha mr square. Here I about axis of rotation, that is ig is nothing but alpha mr square. Ig is alpha mr square. Then what is value of alpha? This is a question. Now let us understand here. Now here about G point, that is centroid, about G point, Ig is equal to alpha m r square. M is capital M. M is capital M r square. Now what is the value of alpha? This is a question. My dear students, for a ring, I for ring, we can say I for ring is nothing but m r square. Ring का mass कितना है? m by 2 है. Let us understand first. Let us say there is a ring of radius small r, mass small m. I about G, that is centroid, is for ring is nothing but m r square. Let us say there m r square by 2. Sorry, it is a ring na. It is a ring na. For ring, it is m r square only. I about G is m r square. Ring का मतलब end पे सिर्फ mass is concentrated at extreme end, right? And if it is a disk, solid disk of radius small r and mass small m, for disk Ig is m r square by 2. तो समझ लो इस क्वेश्चन में रिंग के लिए मास m by 2 है. I for ring is mass of ring m by 2, radius of ring square, that is capital R square. This is I for ring. And for disk, mass is m by 2, radius is r by 2. Here you can see for disk, mass is m by 2, radius is r by 2. Therefore, for disk, I for disk is nothing but 1/2 mass of disk, that is m by 2, and radius square, that is r by 2 whole square. Radius of disk is r by 2 whole square, right? And total device is ring plus disk. Total device is ring plus disk. Therefore, I about G for a disk is nothing but, for a total device is nothing but I for ring plus I for disk. Definitely 100% होगा ना. यहाँ पे रिंग भी है, डिस्क भी है, दोनों को ऐड करना पड़ेगा टोटल डिवाइस के लिए. Let us add them. Therefore, let us solve this question here. तो मैं इसको थोड़ा सा इरेज कर देता हूं. थोड़ा सा इसको इरेज कर दे रहा हूं मैं, राइट. I for total devices, I for ring के लिए कितना है? कैपिटल M by 2 R, कैपिटल M by 2 into कैपिटल R by 2 होल स्क्वायर. क्योंकि डिस्क की रेडियस तो R by 2 है ना. डिस्क की रेडियस तो geometrically speaking, where are eyes located? बेटा आई लोकेटेड, ये आई कोई पॉइंट पॉइंट का कंसेप्ट नहीं है। क्या है नाम आपका? वेलेस ऑगस्टो। माय डियर स्टूडेंट, I is not a point concept. I is for entire device. I is for entire device, right? Now, at on same element at different points, we can find I with the help of parallel axis theorem. That is, I about any other point is equal to I about centroid plus m r square. That already I have explained at the beginning of this lecture, right? I is not point property. ये तो पूरे डिवाइस का होता है। अब किस पॉइंट पे निकालना है, उस पॉइंट पे ऐसे निकालोगे, आई अबाउट दैट पॉइंट इज इक्वल टू आई जी प्लस एम आर स्क्वायर एंड आर इज नथिंग बट डिस्टेंस बिटवीन पी एंड जी। ओके, नाउ let us solve this concept. Let us solve this question. Therefore, Ig is nothing but Ig is equal to m capital M r square by 2 plus m r square divided by 2 into 2 is 4 into 4. 2 square is 4. Right. 2 into 2 into 4, 16. It will become 16. Right. Now let us solve this. Therefore, Ig will become equal to mr square by 2. Now, if I multiply here with 8 and divide with 8, there is no problem. Plus mr square by 16, which is nothing but 8 mr square by 16 plus mr square by 16. School level mathematics. Therefore, Ig is equal to 8 mr square plus mr square is 9 mr square divided by 16, which is nothing but given in question alpha mr square. Question में लिखा है Ig is alpha mr square. Therefore, the value of alpha will become 9 by 16. Equate, दोनों को equate कर दो ना. Alpha will become 9 by 16. Right. तो क्वेश्चन में यही लिखा था. What is the value of alpha? Fill in the blanks. My dear students, it is a fill in the blanks question. Alpha is 9 by 16. My dear students, ये fill in the blanks question है कि नहीं? Here they are asking alpha is, what is alpha? 9 by 16. Now there is no provision to type 9 by 16. इसका फ्रैक्शन में जो आंसर आएगा वो आपको टाइप करना होता है. Whatever may be the answer in fraction, that is your result. तो 9 by 16 फ्रैक्शन में कितना आता है? What is the fraction? 9 divided by 16. कैलकुलेटर में करके देखो. It is alpha is 0.5625. This you have to type in fill in the blanks. Okay. So, if no doubt, then let us jump on next question. Let us jump on next question. Now, the next question was asked in GATE 2014 for 2 marks again. This question was also asked in GATE 2014 for 2 marks. The question is, a uniform slender rod, 8 meter length and 3 kg mass. The length of rod, here you can see, the rod is given. Of length 1 meter plus 7 meter, that is 8 meter. The length of rod is 8 meter and total mass of rod is 3 kg. Correct or wrong? Right. Then rotates in a vertical plane about a horizontal axis 1 meter from its end as shown in figure. My dear students, it is rotating about this point P. Let us say I will name this point as a point P. And it is rotating about point P, which is nothing but at 1 meter from one end, from one extreme end. तो दिया है ना, वो तो दिख रहा है आपको क्वेश्चन में, right? Then as shown in figure, the magnitude of angular acceleration in rad per second square of the rod at the position shown is. Now question is, what is angular acceleration alpha? That is rad per second square. Rad per second square. Angular acceleration in rad per second square. Ruby. This topic, ये topic तो mass, you can say mass moment of inertia or you can say dynamics. Dynamics में आएगा या mass moment of inertia में आएगा. Right. Torque भी बोल सकते हो. You can say torque also. तो बहुत नाम. गेट के क्वेश्चन जब करोगे तब आपको किसी भी टॉपिक में मिल सकता है. Very important topic for competitive exams. Now, let us understand. Here, the rod of length L is given 8 meter, mass is 3 kg, and from one end at 1 meter length, it is rotating about point P. Right. Now, for this rod, alpha is question mark. Let us say there is a rod. Let us say like this. There is a rod of total 8 meter length, and यहाँ पे कहीं तो इसके about hinge किया है. Point P, at point P, which is nothing but at distance 1 meter from one end, right? And from another end, it is at distance 7 meter. From another end, the point P is at distance 7 meter. Question में दे रखा है, right? And length of rod is 8 meter and mass of rod is 3 kg. Now, what is angular acceleration of rod in rad per second square? This is a question, right? Question is to find angular acceleration of rod. Now let us find. Now, where the total mass will act? For this rod, the total mass will act exactly at center of rod, and the weight will act vertically downward, mg, and this center will be at distance 4 meter from any one end. This center will be at 4 meter length from any one end. That is exactly at L by 2 ना, exactly at L by 2. तो ये कितना होगा P point से, right? From P point, the center will be at 3 meter, we can say. From point P, the center will be at 3 meter length. क्योंकि extreme end से P point तो 1 meter पे है ना, 1 meter plus 3 meter, total becomes 4 meter. Here 1 meter plus 3 meter, total becomes 4 meter. Correct. Now about P it is rotating. Therefore torque will be equal to about P. Torque about P will be equal to, that is torque about P is nothing but mg. This mg into distance is 3 meter, right? Torque is nothing but force into distance na. Here torque is nothing but force is, which is nothing but mg into distance, that is distance between P and G. Distance between P and G is nothing but 3 meter. Here you can see distance between P and G is 3 meter, right? Therefore torque about P is mg into 3, which is nothing but mass is 3 kg, G is 9.8. कुछ लिखा है क्वेश्चन में? क्वेश्चन में 10 लेने को बोला है कि जी? इन क्वेश्चन G को 9.81 ही लेना पड़ेगा. They have nothing, क्वेश्चन में कुछ मेंशन नहीं किया है ना G के बारे में, तो 9.81 ही लेना पड़ेगा into 3. This is Newton meter. This is the torque about point P. My dear students, we know that about G point, I about G point is nothing but ml square by 12. For rod, I about G point is ml square by 12, which is nothing but mass of rod is 3, length of rod is 8 square divided by 12, right? Which is nothing but 3 into 8 square is 64 divided by 12, right? That we have learned this. Simple है. तो कितना आएगा ये? 64 by 4, which is nothing but कितना आएगा ये? 16 kg meter square. This is I about G. I about G is 16 kg meter square. But my dear students, we have to find I about P. क्योंकि आपने torque about P लिया है ना? We have considered torque about point P. Therefore, we have to consider I about point P, which is nothing but I about G plus m r square. where r is distance between P and G. Mass is distance between P and G, which is nothing but 3 square. Right. Therefore, I about point P will become 16 plus 3 into 9, which is 16 plus 27, which is but कितना है बताओ, 43 kg 43 meter square. We have calculated IP 43 kg meter square. Right. Therefore, here we can say हमने क्या क्या निकाला? We have calculated I about P and torque about P. We have calculated torque about P, which is nothing but 3 into 9.81 into 3 Newton meter, and I about P is nothing but 43 kg meter square. And my dear students, we know that torque is equal to I alpha. We know that torque is equal to I alpha. If I want to consider torque about P, then we have to consider I about P. Now, torque about P is 3 into 9.81 into 3, which is nothing but 43 into alpha. Now, here only alpha is unknown. Here only alpha is unknown, which is nothing but 3 into 9.81 into 3 divided by 43. अब जो भी आंसर आएगा बता दो कमेंट बॉक्स में, जो भी कुछ आंसर आएगा कमेंट बॉक्स में लिख के बता दो मुझे. अब तो सिंपल है ना. Now it's simple. I think the answer is 2.053 rad per second square. Alpha is equal to 2.053 rad per second square. Check this answer. अगर कोई डाउट होगा तो बता दो. If no doubt, let us jump on next question. अगर कोई डाउट नहीं है मन में तो आगे क्वेश्चन पे चलते हैं. If any doubt, let me know. Okay. I think no doubt. So let us jump on next question. थोड़ा difficulty level बढ़ाएंगे. Let us increase difficulty level. और बच्चों यहाँ पे मेरा assumption है आपने पूरे theory lecture already देखे हैं, and here you are only to solve previous year gate numericals and only to ask your doubts. तो आपके डाउट का मैं वेट कर रहा हूं. I am here waiting your doubts. चलो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करते हैं. द क्वेश्चन इज रॉड PQ दिख रहा है आपको, रॉड PQ which is inclined at 45 degree with horizontal दिख रहा है आपको डायग्राम में, राइट. You can easily see in diagram. A rod PQ of length root 2 meter. The length of rod is root 2 meter and uniformly distributed mass 10 kg. The mass of rod is 10 kg. Is released from the rest at the position shown in figure. Is released from the rest at the position shown in figure. Right. इस position पे इसको छोड़ दिया. The ends slides along the frictionless faces OP and OQ. Now this one end slides along OP, PO, and other end slides along OQ. Right. मतलब इसका मतलब क्या है? That means P point will come downward and Q point will go towards right. The meaning is P point will come downward and Q point will go towards right. Right. Now, after that, Assume acceleration due to gravity g is 10 मीटर पर सेकंड स्क्वायर. यहाँ पे लेंथ ऑफ रॉड दे रखा है, क्वेश्चन में जो जो लिखा है दिया है वो लिख रहा हूं मैं. Now length of rod is under 2 meter, then mass of rod is 10 kg, then acceleration due to gravity is 10 meter per second square. This is a given data in question. Then the mass moment of inertia of rod about its center of mass and the axis perpendicular to the plane of figure is ml square by 12. वो तो हमें पता है, that we know. About center of mass, that is g, about center of mass, that is ig, is ml square by 12. That if we know. इसको देने की जरूरत नहीं थी. At this instant, the magnitude of angular acceleration in rad per second square of the rod is. Now, at this instant, what is alpha in rad per second square? What is alpha in rad per second square? Now, let us understand this question. Right. Now, here, my dear students, the diagram is given like there is a wall and there is a floor. There is a wall, vertical wall, and horizontal floor. Against this wall and floor, the rod is kept. The rod is kept. This is a rod, right, which is inclined at 45 degree with horizontal. अगर horizontal के साथ angle 45 degree now, the length of rod is √2, right? ये तो given है. Then उसके बाद क्या क्या given है? Mass of rod. I think mass of rod is also given 10 kg. कितना था? Mass of rod is 10 kg. Right. तो लिखो mass of rod is 10 kg. Then acceleration due right. Centroid, about centroid, center of mass, about this G point. I रखा है, I about G is ml square by 12. I about G square given है, जो जो given है लिखो उसको, जो जो given है सबको लिखो, right? Just a minute. Just a minute. Come to the concept. Right. I about G is given. Now, this P end and Q end. P end is coming downward. Q end is going towards right. Right. And here there is a O point. Now, for such cases, instant center जहां पे होता है, OP को एक लाइन परपेंडिकुलर ड्रॉ करना. ये आपको आएगा इंजीनियरिंग मैकेनिक्स के थ्योरी लेक्चर में. OP, draw one line perpendicular to OP. Draw one line perpendicular to OQ. Draw one line perpendicular to OQ and draw one line perpendicular to OP. The point of intersection will be instant center. The point of intersection will be instant center. Let us say this point as C point. Let us say this point is C point. That is, the rod is rotating about this C point. This is our assumption. Instant center means this rod OP, PQ, this rod PQ is under pure rotational motion about this C point. Right? इसके about rotate हो रहा है. Right? If it is rotating with torque T. Right? Now it is rotating. Now at G, the mass is acting, that is vertically downward. mg is acting vertically downward at G point. Right? And the length of rod is √2. Therefore, this length, half length, that is P to G distance. P to G distance will be √2 by 2. Right? this P to G distance is root 2 by 2 and G to Q distance is root 2 by 2. This distance is root 2 by 2 and G to Q distance is root 2 by 2. टोटल डिस्टेंस रूट 2 है ना, आधा आधा चला जाएगा, हाफ हाफ चला जाएगा, राइट. Now my dear students, can I say, let us say here I will consider one, let us say x point. x point देखो मैंने कहाँ पे दिखाया है, x point की पोजीशन देख लो कहाँ पे दिखाया है. Now torque is nothing but force into perpendicular distance ना, force into perpendicular radius. Now the bar is rotating about point C, तो C से लेकर फोर्स का परपेंडिकुलर डिस्टेंस mg का परपेंडिकुलर डिस्टेंस r बोलेंगे उसको हम. r is nothing but distance from C to mg, राइट. तो r की वैल्यू निकालनी पड़ेगी. तो माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, ये qg का cos कंपोनेंट है कि नहीं? कैन आई से cos 45 is equal to cos 45 is equal to adjacent side, that is qx divided by hypotenuse, that is qg. सीधा सीधा है ना, सिंपल सा ट्रायंगल है यहाँ पे, qxg, ट्रायंगल qxg. You can see cos 45 is adjacent side, that is qx divided by hypotenuse, which is nothing but qg. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2 is equal to qx, which is nothing but radius divided by qg is nothing but root 2 by 2. तो ये 2 ऊपर चला जाएगा, root 2 कैंसिल होगा, therefore 1 is equal to 2r, therefore radius is equal to 1 by 2. Radius is equal to 1 by 2 that we have calculated. तो इसको मैं इरेज कर देता हूं. अब टॉर्क निकालना है ना, मैं चलो टॉर्क निकाल के लेते हैं. यहाँ पे टॉर्क इज इक्वल टू फोर्स इज नथिंग बट mg into perpendicular distance is r, which is nothing but mass is 10 kg, g is 10, radius is 1 by 2. Therefore torque is equal to 100 by 2, which is nothing but 50 Newton meter. Here torque is 50 Newton meter that you have calculated, right? Now let us erase these things. तो हमने यहाँ पे टॉर्क अबाउट C निकाला माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स. C पॉइंट के अबाउट ले लिया ना मोमेंट मैंने, टॉर्क, दैट टॉर्क वी हैव कैलकुलेटेड अबाउट पॉइंट C, राइट. नाउ देयरफॉर हियर थोड़ा सा मैं इसको इरेज करने जा रहा हूं डाटा को, राइट. नाउ दिस टॉर्क अबाउट C is nothing but we can say I about C into alpha, I alpha. Torque is equal to I alpha that we have learned. तो हमें I about C निकालना पड़ेगा. तो I about C is nothing but I about G plus mass into distance between C and G square. ये तो हमने पढ़ा है ना पहले ही. यहाँ पे mr स्क्वायर क्यों नहीं लिख रहा हूं मैं, क्योंकि r हमने पहले से ही x and q के बीच के डिस्टेंस को हमने r लिखा है. ऑलरेडी वी हैव रिटन डिस्टेंस बिटवीन x and q एज r. तो डिस्टेंस बिटवीन C एंड G, इसको डायरेक्टली CG लिखो, डिस्टेंस बिटवीन C एंड G. ये तो हमने ऑलरेडी पढ़ा है. नाउ C to G डिस्टेंस, लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड हाउ टू कैलकुलेट दिस C to G डिस्टेंस, राइट. माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, हियर एट P एंगल ऑफ रॉड विथ वर्टिकल एंगल ऑफ रॉड इज 45 डिग्री. तो हॉरिजॉन्टल के साथ भी 45 होना चाहिए. दिस एंगल मस्ट बी 45 डिग्री, right? This angle must be 45 degree, or due to symmetry at C this angle will be 45 degree. देखो ये simple mathematics है बच्चों, ये simple mathematics है. This is very simple mathematics. At C with horizontal angle is 45 degree and at G it is perpendicular distance, क्योंकि distance between C and G is shortest distance. Always we have to consider shortest distance, right? तो ये simple mathematics है बच्चों. तो माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, C to G ये सिमिलर ट्रायंगल हुआ कि नहीं, देख लो. यहाँ पे ऐसे कुछ तो ट्रायंगल मिला आपको. हियर एंगल इज 45 डिग्री एट P, एट C also 45 डिग्री and at G it is 90 डिग्री. P to G distance is root 2 by 2. P to G distance is root 2 by 2. Therefore C to G will be also root 2 by 2. 45 के कारण ये root 2 by 2 आएगा. सिंपल स्कूल लेवल मैथमेटिक्स है, इसको एक्सप्लेन करने की जरूरत नहीं है मुझे लगता है. अगर किसी को लगता है इसको एक्सप्लेन करने की जरूरत है, देन कमेंट में लिखो वैसे, उसके लिए अलग से मैं 2 मिनट एक्सटेंड करूंगा वीडियो को, राइट। नाउ तो C to G डिस्टेंस इज √2/2, देन यूज दैट डिस्टेंस। चलो फिर IC निकालते हैं। देन IC इज इक्वल टू, IG इज नथिंग बट ml²/12 प्लस मास इंटू C to G distance is √2 whole square, right? Now therefore IC is equal to, mass is, mass rod का कितना है 10 into EL square √2 square, length of rod is √2, पहले ही दिया है ना क्वेश्चन में, length of rod is √2 square divided by 12 plus mass is 10 into √2 square is 2, 2 square is 4, then IC will be equal to, here IC will be equal to 10 into 2 divided by 12 plus 10 into 2 20/4, राइट। तो जो कुछ आएगा वट एवर में भी रिजल्ट कितना आएगा 20/12 प्लस 20/4। तो IC को थोड़ा लिखना जा रहा हूं मैं, दैट इज IC इज इक्वल टू 20/12 प्लस 20/4। तो इसको ऐसे लिख सकते हैं हम 20/12 प्लस 3 into 20 divided by 4 into 3, 3 will get cancelled, therefore IC will be equal to 20 plus 60, 80/12, right? IC is 80/12 kg meter square, right? And my dear students, this torque is nothing but I alpha, and torque we have calculated 50, I we have calculated 80/12 into alpha, and alpha is the question in this, alpha is the question. Now let us find alpha. Therefore here alpha will be equal to 50 into 12 divided by 80. Now whatever may be the answer, comment me. Whatever may be the answer for alpha, let me know. कमेंट करके बता दो बच्चों। अगर किसी को नहीं आता है तो चलो मैं ही बता देता हूं। आई थिंक द आंसर विल बी 7.5 rad per second square. अल्फा इज 7.5 rad per second square. तो आपका आंसर होगा 7.5 rad per second square, राइट। इफ डाउट लेट मी नो। और एक ही क्वेश्चन बचा है, अगर यहां तक क्लियर है, एक ही क्वेश्चन बचा है, उसको लेना है तो बता दो, या क्योंकि टाइम हो गया है, जो आपका टाइम दिया था आपको वो टाइम हो गया है। अगर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन जो बचा है उसको लेना है तो बता दो, अदरवाइज आप सॉल्व कर सकते हो तो सॉल्व करो। लेट मी नो इन कमेंट्स। अगर किसी को डाउट है तो बताओ, इफ नो डाउट लेट मी नो इन कमेंट्स। इस जो बचा हुआ क्वेश्चन है, दिस क्वेश्चन वाज आस्क्ड इन, आई थिंक दिस क्वेश्चन वाज आस्क्ड इन गेट 2018 फॉर 2 मार्क्स, गेट 2018 फॉर 2 मार्क्स। इस क्वेश्चन को अगर होमवर्क के जैसा सॉल्व कर सकते हो तो वैसे बताओ, अगर यहाँ पे लेना है तो वैसे भी बताओ, क्योंकि लेक्चर का टाइम ऑलरेडी हो चुका है। कोई तो एक कमेंट चाहिए मुझे, कुछ भी बताओ। ओके चलो, तो होमवर्क के लिए सॉल्व करो ये क्वेश्चन, सॉल्व फॉर होमवर्क। आई एम हियर वेटिंग योर डाउट्स। चलो कोई डाउट नहीं है तो ट्राई दिस न्यूमेरिकल, इस क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करने की कोशिश करो। अगर आता नहीं है तो कमेंट में लिखो, किसी को अगर आंसर नहीं आता है तो मुझे कमेंट में लिखो, सो दैट आई विल पोस्ट द सॉल्यूशन। इसका सॉल्यूशन बना के भेज दूंगा मैं कमेंट बॉक्स में, राइट। चलो बाय बाय, किसी का कोई डाउट नहीं आया है तो मैं ऑफलाइन जाने जा रहा हूँ अभी। चलो बाय बाय, बेस्ट ऑफ लक।